Ohio. Rovinj, the city in Croatia, on the western coast of the Istrian Peninsula, one of 9 largest cities of the peninsula. Historical names: Rugno, Rovinj, Ruginio. The population -14234 people. 2001. The old city of Rovinj is located on the peninsula, similar in form to Drop, in which center there is cathedral. The archipelago of the city, on which the magnificent panorama from bank line of its historic center opens, contains 22 islands, among which the largest and picturesque, Street Andrew and Street Catherine's Islands. The new part of the city is extended along the coast to the north and the south from the peninsula. History. The first mentioning of the city belongs to the 7th century, when Castrum Rubini's work has been published. Cosmography. However, the geographical researches given in it belong to the 5th century. As a result, it is possible to claim with confidence that the history of the city begins during the period between 3 and 5th century. Archaeological excavations make the history of the city of even more ancient. According to their results, pioneer settlements on these places have arisen at the time of Bronze and Iron centuries. In the history of the city there are a lot of interesting pages. At various times it was under the domination of the Byzantine Empire, under the German feudal lords, the Venetian Republic, under Austro-Hungarian, French and German management. Several times the city has been burned and devastated. For the majority of civilizations, the location of the city was represented very favorable in terms of geographical location. However, for many years the city tried to obtain the independence and fought for own autonomy. For this reason it so long looked for the imperious patron who will offer the most favorable terms for the solution of this task. In 1283 Rovinj, after Porik, Novigrad and Umag, was part of Venice. Having made such choice, the city has gained independence with some restrictions. For example, the Venetian Republic reserved the right to appoint a judge who, according to the competence, conducted all spiritual, political, administrative, trade and other matters. In Council of Citizens only exclusive families were also allowed, and judges elected by this council solved exclusively civil and criminal cases under the leadership of the judge appointed by Venice. In the social plan, citizens were separated into 2 estates, aristocrats and plebeians. Corresponding division had also the government, including council and meeting. Membership in council was transferred on inheritance. The mandate of the judge and praetor has been limited 1 year, and in 1306 the Senate of Venice has increased its term up to 16 months. Over time in Rovinj the commodity exchange appears. Dealers and seamen have filled up the list of typical city professions. Fisheries and farming were basic of which. Navigation development has also brought the changes in the city. Rivalry of seaports has led to gain Rovinj Genii in 1379. 2 centuries later, in 1579 and 1599, the city has undergone capture again. At the end of the 15th century, on the coast of Istria, the active growth of the population at the expense of refugees from the central part of the peninsula and also from Bosnia and Dalmatia, Greece and Albania, northern Italy begins. In 1595 the population of the city has made 2,800 inhabitants, in 1650, 5,000 people, in 1741, 7,966, and in 1775, 1,3788 people that could not but affect city architecture. The number of stories of buildings increases, and houses begin to be restricted to each other. In the 18th century the city becomes an important seaport, and local seamen have become famous for the skills and bravery more than once shown in battles with Turks in the 16th century. In addition to these pages, the city had also reverse of the medal. Rovinj was the largest center of contrabandists. Here many revolts. In 1767, 1769, 1774 and 1780. Against the Venetian intervention were organized. The city of Rovinj stands on the seashore on the high stone mountain. Structure of that city all stone. In that city church Eviati the martyr Ephemia Prekvala. In the church and its power lie which and I was honored to see. In the same church sought I Saint Martyr's ring, the belt I Saint Martyr's, wattled of silver wire is made of silver with crystal and in the same city at the Vyshepizanago church the bell tower stone is made, it is very high, and on top the bell towers the image Eviati the martyr Ephemia is put, poured out of copper of moderately human age. In the same city on Pozadek the set of fruit is a lot of deravalivni and on them. On May 12, 1797 in the city self-government has been established -18 representatives of the population elected by democratic meeting were included into the government managing the city. However in 1809 the French board of the government of Napoleon which proceeded up to recovery of the Austrian sovereignty over these areas in 1813 is entered here. In 1821 to the city its municipal status is confirmed, and from 1825 to 1860 it was part of the Istrijski county. Since 1819 in Rovinj there is active construction. The schoolhouse is built. In 1847 the steam plant for production of paste is constructed. In 1850 the Chamber of Commerce is founded. In 1853 the beacon on street Evans Island is established. From 1854 to 1865, the theatre building. In 1852, cement factory. In 1872, tobacco factory. In 1888, city hospital is built. In 1876, railway communication with other cities opens, and since 1905 the city is lit with gas lamps. Since 1906 city installation of telephones begins. With disappearance of the Austro-Hungarian monarchy Rovinj gets under the Italian influence which has lasted up to capitulation of Italy in September 1943. Until the end of World War II by the city the German aggressors manage. Following the results of war all Istria was part of Yugoslavia. The Italian population has in large quantities left the area in 1947. In 1990 disintegration of SFRU as a result of which on June 25, 1991 Croatia has declared itself the sovereign independent state has begun. The city, as well as all Istrian Peninsula, continues the peaceful existence as a part of Croatia. Population. The city, as well as all Croatian Istria, is multinational. Croats, Slovenes, Italians, Serbians, Albanians. And traditionally very much we suffer two different cultures. Many inhabitants define the nationality as Istriets. The city of Rovinj, one of the last places where carriers of endangered Istro-Romanski language on which they once spoke almost in all southwest of the peninsula are still alive. Economy. Tourism brings the most part of income of the city. Within the city and in its vicinities, numerous hotels, country houses are located. Except tourist service, the population is engaged in fishery, the fish processing and food industry. Also in the city, the tobacco factory is located. Makes cigarettes under the name of Rovinj. Transport. Rovinj is connected by regular long-distance bus traffic to other large Croatian cities and also to Italy and Slovenia. The city is connected by coastal highways with the cities of Poruč, Pula and Umag, and also with Rijeka and through it with other Croatia. The main attractions of the city are concentrated in its old part. Rich with various monuments of Roman style, it is attractive to tourists. In architecture, the Gothic style, the Renaissance, Baroque and Neoclassicism are successfully combined. 3 of 7 City Gate. Gate on the coast, gate under wall and sacred gate have kept the original form. Street. Efremia's Church, the building with the 62-meter bell tower executed in Baroque style and recovered during the period between 1725 and 1736, is considered one of the main attractions of the city. On its place before the beginning of the 10th century, the Church of St. George, whose statue still decorates the main altar, was placed. Works on reorganization of the temple were continued approximately till 950, when the basilica with 3 naves and 3 round apses has appeared in the new appearance before citizens. In the center, the sarcophagus with the great martyr Euphemia's body, at the time of Diocletian's government tortured and flung in prison for the Christian religion, has been placed. On September 16, 304 years she has died, and devoted Christians have kept her body, having transported it home to Constantinople, where at the request of the Emperor Constantine in her honor the church has been erected. In 800 the sarcophagus has disappeared, and on July 13 the same year has arrived in Rovinj, that has been apprehended by local population as miracle. On December 3, 1651 the construction of cathedral preceding 26 years has begun. In 1758 the wooden statue of St. Euphemia placed on its spike has been replaced with copper. The cathedral bell tower, the highest in Istria, height of copper statue, makes 4.7 meters. Annually on September 16 in Rovinj there takes place the pilgrimage in honor of St. Euphemia, which is bringing together many thousands of believers from the whole Europe. Chapel of the Holy Trinity, the heptagonal building, the most well-remained ancient construction of the city. Perfectly combines Romance and Gothic styles. Now performs functions of art gallery. Virgin Mary's Church. Merciful historical documents have not informed of date of its construction or time, however it is for certain known that the building located on Carducci Street has been consecrated in 1487 and is recovered in 1584. In recent time its area by increase in the place behind altar has been expanded. Benches of the temple are executed in style of late Baroque. On walls the objects symbolizing the great sea past of the city are placed. On floor there is tombstone of the Countess Elisabetta Engolini Califi, buried here on December 13, 1762. City Town Hall, on the central square near Port. The Califi Palace, the palace in the Venetian style in which the city museum is located now. Hospital of Dr. Martin. The hospital complex, which is buried in verdure located on the peninsula of Mucha, has been opened on May 22, 1888. Originally in the building the Sea Sanatorium of Maria Theresa, called in honor of the Austro-Hungarian Erzherzogina which has opened, it was located. At opening of sanatorium there was also Archduke Karl Ludovic. Since the beginning of the 20th century the building has been reorientated, and in it the Vienna City Hospital, which further has received narrower orientation of orthopedic surgery, was placed. In the neighborhood of the city there are a lot of nature sanctuaries. Islands on the coast from Street, Ivan's Island, to the Island of Two Sisters. Sea and underwater parts of the Lima Gulf, and part of the Lima Hollow. Green space of Punta Carrenti, swamp of Pallet, cave of Romuald's on south side of the Lima Gulf, and pit of Monferenzo. The Museum of History of the city is founded in 1954 by a group of local artists in the palace, which in the 17th-18th century belonged to family of Calivi. This has constant exposure, and provides the halls for exhibitions of the work of art. For more than 50 years of existence in the museum, the impressive collection of works of modern and ancient masters and also collection of archaeological finds is collected. Because of the shortage of exhibition areas, the most part of collection of the museum is in storerooms. The Museum of Family Haderot. The museum is located in the former house of the forester, for which restoration and arrangement of exposure 330,000 kuna have been spent. Visitors of the museum can participate in bicycle excursions for acquaintance with the next forest area and the fauna inhabiting it. Peyton's house. The museum devoted the Nerd, the wooden fishing flat-bottom boat, the favorite vessel of city fishermen. The boat became the main symbol of the city and was used by many families. This museum, the Mediterranean's first, which is devoted to the fishing boat. By means of interactive digression to history, visitors of the museum can get acquainted with the history of origin of the boat, its constituents, production process. At the museum, the gift shop, in which visitors can acquire big and small copies of the boat, card, graphic works and ceramic figurines in Look Nerds works. The Franciscan Monastery. The monastery, built in Baroque style, is located in northeast part of the city. The idea of opening the museum in the Rovinj monastery has arisen in the 70th years of the 20th century. Now on the first floor of East Wing the collection of works of art and applied art is located, also the main altar constructed of marble and the painting executed by the Venetian masters decorating internal walls of the temple will be especially interesting to visitors of the museum. Climate in the city: Mediterranean, with average temperature from 4.8 C in January up to 22.3 C in July. Annual average temperature -16 C. Water temperature of the Adriatic Sea washing the coast of the city from the middle of June to the middle of September exceeds 20 C, and its annual average temperature is equal to 16.6 C. Annual level of the dropping out rainfall -940 met. Annual average humidity of 72%. Light day from the middle of May to the middle of September exceeds 10 hours. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.